Hello. Welcome in once again to another edition of the Space Sheriff Gavsudan, the worst show on the internet. I am, of course, your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks from 2026, call sign Henshin. Hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. The last day of the weekend. Time to enjoy it, folks. Time to enjoy it for what it is. And we're ending the week on an absolute dumpster fire. Because, man, if that last episode of Gavan was any indication, this shit is so far off the rails that there's no possible hope of recovery. But, as I said last night and last week, we're going to trudge through. We're going to get through this because it's almost over. It's 5 episodes away. The ending is in sight. And then from there on, I retire the Sunday Zatsudan because, man, if this is what Project Red is giving us, I have zero hopes for Omega Horn. For real. I've said that multiple times, but I feel like it bars saying again because it's that bad. It's that bad. It is so bad that I was putting off doing this show for as much as I could. Right? I mean, I really did have headphone issues, but at the same time, I was like, I really don't need to be here right now. I could literally just take this excuse and leave. I could literally, acted like I never fixed it and then never touch this again. But then the problem would be I would have to watch 2 episodes next week. And then nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through that at all. If you want me to go through 2 episodes of hell, no thank you. But it is what it is. Best to pull the ripcord now than to delay the inevitable. You know what I mean? So I think it's in our best interest not to waste my time nor your time too much. So let's go ahead and take a seat. Let's take a seat in our cinema here and let us strap in for whatever this is going to be. Because I have no expectations. I'm not expecting greatness, but I'm keeping my expectations super low because I feel like that's the only way I'm going to survive. So this is Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity episode 18. Someone special. Let's get it. This is the Bushido dimension. Doing his laundry? Why an apron? Huh? Winds howling. Flashback episode. Wait, what? Excuse me? Huh? Huh?
昔の言葉ね。誰に教わったの？
昔出会った人に。
How long ago? How old are you? And what is happening? What is happening?
極秘任務よ。一 所に来て。
So, that's a hell of a coincidence. That is a hell of a coincidence. Like, I mean, we never see her face, but like, damn, like, who the fuck she looks exactly the same. Meanwhile, at the MC planet. Patoran. What the fuck is this? He's a robot! What the fuck do you mean? They got scammed!
ところで資料課のことですが、あそこにギャバンを置いているのはわざとですよね、カレル様。
僕たち秘密に気づいてきました。でもあえて何も
Wait a minute.
カレル様。
そう、あえて聞かない。いい子です。僕結構今攻めましたよね。攻めた。
They're really trying to figure this shit out about archival. Hey! Manga Artist Mansion. Dun 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 dun.
メロメロスルスルドロドロ詐欺泥棒事件です。相手をメロメロにして結婚スルスルーと2つ返事して恋心を盗み泥のように捨ててドロンと消えるのでこんな名称になりました。こちらの地球ではこの事件の被害が拡大しているの。被害者の共通点はいずれもある人物が主催していた仮想婚活パーティーへ参加していたこと。主催者はマリアントワネ、年齢不詳。
Marie Antoinette! Okay, you know what? That's clever. That's clever.
所持しているかどうかは不明よ。まあ、最重要容疑者ってところね。そこで我々3人でクイーンが開催する仮想婚活パーティーへ潜入捜査を敢行するわ。
承知。
Such.
仮装ならアギにお任せください。仮装完了です。
Damn! She got knife. She got knife for this shit.
さすがアギちゃん。なんと面用な。アギちゃん。このヒゲは何ですか？
The fucking mustache.
ヘイジ、似合ってるよ。
あ、もう本部長、ベロゲないです。
Okay, you can't tell me that that's not fucking, God, I forgot her name. Shit. Savila. Kamen Rider Savila. That's her, isn't she? That has to be her. Like, that's the look. That's the... I have to look this up. I have to look this up, because it's fucking with me now. Up.
そこもと。そこで何をしている？
コンタクトレンズを落としてしまって。
コンタ。
Oh!
く。と。
Oh, no.
レンズです。
面目ない。
Wait, but it didn't look like he stepped on him. At least the first one, anyway.
大丈夫か？怪我ねえか？背が高い方がモテるから少しでも身長を高く見せたかったんだ。なるほどな。
Platform boots? Really?
身長も大切かもしれねえけど、お前の目に見えない部分を見てくれる人がいるんじゃねえのか。
その気持ちわかります。あなたの気持ち痛いほどわかります。わざと猫背になって背が低いふりをしていました。私たち気が合いますね。
はい、僕たち気が合います。
その靴めっちゃ重たそう。
これめっちゃ重くて腰大丈夫？ボンジョーネ。
You know what? It's silly, but it's a nice little silly. You know what I mean? Like, it's not full on cheese.
会場内のネガエモルギア反応探知できないかな。
無理です。ネガティブ波動もポジティブ波動も激しい感情と欲望が入り混じって渦巻いて、もはや測定不能です。
みんな本気度高いってことなんだね。
お待たせしました。クイーンの登場です。
Wait, why are they playing a marriage dirge? What the hell? Uh-oh. A misdirect, if you will?
それは運命の出会いなの。婚活、それはめくるめく愛の戦場。勝ち取らなければ何も残らない。奪い取らなければ何も手に入らない。合婚活とは二つを合わせた欲望渦巻く愛の戦場。さあ皆さん、大切なものを見つけましょう。だけど
予想外の展開です。
返して。
何を？
あなたが奪った彼の恋心を。知らなかったわ。彼があなたの彼だったとはね。悪いけど彼はもう私にメロメロよ。許せない。あなたを絶対に許さない。
Oh, shit!
犯人はクイーンじゃなかったのか。
Demons!
銀河連邦警察だ。
銃刀法違反並びに願いモルギア所持の現行犯で逮捕する。
違う、捕まえるのは私じゃない。クイーンよ。私は恋人を奪われた被害者なんだから。まさか警察が潜入していたとはね。でも男はみんな私の味方。
Double shot!
クイーン様。
するする。
ネガエモルギアが2つ。
メルドラ詐欺の犯人はやっぱりクイーンでした。
本ボシ確定だな。
なぜあの二人には聞かないの。なぜ私にメロメロにならないの。男はみんな私に恋をするはずなのに。
せつな君は人造人間。メロメロになりません。
レイズがメロメロにならなかったのはヤミマクールがブロックしてるからに違いない。
I mean, yeah? That tracks.
私を守って。ごきげんよう。お先にドローンします。
Where's Fade when you need him?
待ちなさい。
Oh, never mind. Twisting arm. I forget what that's called. There's a move. It's an arm bar. I just couldn't feel like what it was. Chochaku. Beautiful.
止まりなさい。止まらないと撃つ。
これさえあればみんな私にメロメロで私は無敵でハッピーだったのに。
それを渡しなさい。あなたがしていることは間違っている。
あんたたちにはわからない。大切なものを失った苦しみが。
大切なもの。
Oh shit. Realization kicks in.
男なんて。
Do not do what you're about to do.
男なんて。
ヘモルギアで強制的に恋心を集めても、それは本物の感情じゃないのよ。
おだまり。
Chochaku.
宇宙刑事ギャバン武士道マイ
Mai.
乗着。それは
Yes. Do the thing. Do the thing.
では乗着プロセスをもう一度見てみよう。乗着コマンドを受けて臨界点を超えたエモルギーがトリガー内に凝縮されたギャバリオン粒子と融合。
到着
わずか1ミリ秒でコンバットスーツへと投射成形され
This will never get old. This never gets old. Double lemons! With the lemons! I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons! I'm gonna build a combustible lemons that's gonna burn your house down!
これならどうだ。そんならこいつはどうだ。
Alright! Bring it on, baby!
ギャバリオントリガー EX。
See, this is how you should have presented a trigger. This is how we should have been introduced to it.
刹那。
本部長を守るのがそれがしの任務。
エモルギアの力を使わずに身を挺して守ってくれる人がいるなんて。ずるいずるい。
それがしも大切なものを失った苦しみを知っている。だからこそ大切なものを守るのだ。
Stand ready
ブレード
for the dynamic Gavarion Bredo! Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. Nice. See,
動機はあらゆる男への復讐ってとこ
Huh?
初恋で最後の恋だった。恋心を奪われて捨てられた。辛かった。許さなかった。だから私も同じように奪って捨てて傷つけてやりたかった。
あなたの気持ちがとても傷ついたのは理解するわ。
Nothing worse than a woman scorned.
失ったものにとらわれ続けているのはもったいない。あなたはこれからもっと大切なものを手に入れられるかもしれないのだから。
Sometimes you gotta hear it from someone, you know.
あなたはたくさん失ってきた。だからこそ、その喪失を受け入れて前を見て、きっと新しい大切なものが待ってる。
So that kind of clears up more of Bushido's motivations, you know? It kind of clears it up a little more.
試合終了だな。
アギたちも仮装しちゃいました。
Why?
なんで僕まで？おお、似合ってんぞ大佐。お、アギもいけてんな。
ありがとうございます。初めて話してくれた。あなたにも大切な人がいたのね。私が名前をつけてあげる。本当に悲しい時は涙が出ないのよ。風があなたの頬を撫でていったら、それは私よ、刹那。手に入れた大切なものを数えて生きる。あなたにはこれからたくさんの出会いがある。だから生きて、刹那。
その人はそれがしに生きることを教えてくれました。
Nice.
そう。
Ultimately, you know what? I'm not going to say we're back on track, but we're definitely kind of gotten back on a vibe, right? Like, I don't think anything will erase the bullshit that we got last week, but at least it's not continuing down that how do I put this? It's not continuing down that road. You know what I mean? It's not continuing down the it's not continuing down the road of ultimate, like, holy shit, we're going nowhere and we're making it obvious. Like, at least now it feels like it's a return to some sort of form, you know? The heck? Bushido. Beautiful. As the wind blows. Sorry, I had to mute it again. Insert song. If you feel the wind on your cheek, that will be me, said Sina. It's beautiful. See, that's a feel-good moment right there. That's a feel-good moment.
立てこもり事件により母校へ戻る聞き子と恩師との再会放たれる教団絶対
Holy!
不明の状況を覆すため大きな決断を迫られ
Wait!
る
Gavan Black's back!
超宇宙刑事ギャバンインフィニティことと危機私たちは二人で最強
Wait, whoa, hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Hold up. Okay. So I had to look this up because it was bugging me, right? So apparently the person who plays Amu, the director, not the same person who plays Sabala. I was completely off. She's actually a former member of a J-pop band called an idol group called AKB48. That's crazy. Like I was looking at it, and like she literally has no she has no no filmography prior to this. Is she? No, she was born in Japan. Study abroad. Okay, so when she left the group, she moved to Mexico. She did a drama in 2024, and then she's currently doing this. And then so she did a drama. She's currently doing this, and apparently she's got something going on later this year too. Interesting. Okay, so she mainly did dramas before this. And this is her first delve into Tokusatsu with Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity. Interesting. I'm not crazy, though. She does look like Sabala a little bit. Or am I tripping? I think maybe it's the hair, because the picture of her on the wiki page has her with dark brown hair. So I think it's the red hair that's throwing me. I think that's what's throwing me. But anyway, it looks like they know that last week's episode was utter bullshit and are trying to rectify that, but also you need to understand something. You need to understand something. We are 4 weeks away from the ending. And we're no closer to getting to the we're no closer from dealing with the big evil. Death Gavan is back next episode, but we're no closer to dealing with the big evil, nor has the big evil made itself apparent. It's not made itself as a true threat to the universe, and that worries me a little bit. 4 episodes left to tell an epic story. I don't doubt their ability to do so, but also I have my doubts as well. because it looks like definitely Death Gavan's back, which means they have to be setting up for the ending. But they're still doing a Luminous-centric episode. So either we're getting a 3-episode ending arc that like truly hones in on the great evil, or this entire series is going to be left up in the air and reapproached at a later date as part of a crossover. That's the big concern I have. Because it just feels like there's still so much left on the table, and we don't know enough about anyone to make any true connections. Like, this feels, for all intensive purposes, this feels like it's there for the sake of being there. Right? I'm not going to say this episode was a feel-good episode, no, because it's meant to be a serious episode. And I will state this, when they do get serious, it's rather refreshing. But it still doesn't address the problem at the center of this show. And that's that it's all literally had no point. Like, if you spend some time elaborating more on these characters' backstories and why we should like them, I feel like we would like this show a little bit better. But the way it's being presented, it's very much a how do I put this? It just feels more like it's just here. It's not meant to set the tone. It's not meant to, like, move the needle. It's meant to be there. Almost as if, like, Gavan is meant to be a transitional gen, where it's literally like they decided rather than pull the ripcord on a new IP, they decided to use Gavan as a way to lead people into the new shit. You know? And it sucks to think about that. It sucks to think that, but it definitely feels like Gavan was meant to be a buffer for us to get to the new guys. You know, because Omega Horn is the first one, and then obviously there's going to be another guy after that. I think they already confirmed the name, but I forgot. But yeah, there's going to be another guy coming after Omega Horn, and it's definitely someone we've never heard of. So Gavan Infinity was there just to be a transition, but they seem to have forgotten that, like, first guy in is setting the tone, and you've set the tone that nothing that's happening in Project Red is going to have any long lore implications. It's literally just here to be brainless entertainment. And that's a horrible precedent to set. But I feel like they thought, oh no, we're not moving the needle. We're just going to give you the status quo, and then we'll come back. We'll come back in like, and then we'll just continue the status quo. But since it won't have Super Sentai attached to it, it's not suicide. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not doing self-harm to the Super Sentai name if we keep producing out this generic schlock. You know, like, I don't know what the thought process is, but it definitely ultimately feels like we're not going anywhere. And I hate to feel like every tokusatsu that's going to be in this slot going forward is not going anywhere. That's why I'm not fully rescinding my threat that I'm not doing a Gavsudan for Omega Horn after this, because unfortunately Gavan has kind of left like a bad taste in my mouth. Just based on the last episode alone. But for the most part, like, it's okay if you kind of like absorb it in a vacuum, but like, man, if you came here looking for lore, you came to the wrong place. This show, like, I feel like you have to be of a certain mindset to enjoy it, and unfortunately, I'm too overanalyzing to truly enjoy this in a vacuum. To me, I gotta know where's the story going, like, what's our end game, where's the intrigue, and this show has given me none of that. Well, I will rescind what I said on social media and said that the show sucked, but I'm not gonna sing the show's praises either because it doesn't really have a lot of them. The show has issues. Like, this show continues to have issues, and for my money, it's kind of like it doesn't, like, I don't know. It feels kind of weird that, like, it just doesn't know what it wants. It doesn't know what to do. The fact that we're not getting lore, the fact that they're not telling a cohesive story, yet they teased the vestiges of one, is a very bizarre choice that I do not understand. And I wish someone who actively enjoys the show could explain this to me. Because for what it is, it's just, I don't understand what the vision is. What is the vision? Because I'm not seeing it. And it bothers me that I can't see it. You know? Like, it definitely feels like they had an idea, and then maybe the fact... I have a hunch. Hold on. I have this weird feeling that, like, every writer for each episode is different, and none of them understood the assignment. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like, it feels like... Who wrote this? I'm actually looking at who wrote the horrible episode from last week. Writer Natsumi Morichi. She did episodes 6 and 12 as well. What did she do for Super Sentai? She did a lot of Boom Boomger, but nothing else. But looking at, like, Boom Boomger and then looking at what she did in episode 17, not good. It's not good. Like, this is, for all intensive purposes, for all intensive purposes, this feels like a Gozuger prompt, right? And then who wrote this episode? Who wrote today's episode? This was written by Chinatsu Hojo, who... This is the only episode they've written for this show. No wonder the vibe feels different. So they have different writers, and they have a different idea of what each episode should be. And that's why the vibes feel all over the fucking place. They literally have different people writing different episodes. It's not the same people. That's why there's a lack of consistency. Because it's not just like, oh, it's a team of writers. No, they have a writer for each episode. And that's why. This is why this episode actually felt good. Was because a totally different person wrote this. You can't have a good episode if you can't have a good show if you have, like, 5 people writing different episodes. Like, okay, I'll write this episode, you write the next one, and then this guy will write the next one. There's not a consistency, and it feels like there's not a cohesive communication amongst all of them. And they only wrote one episode from Bumbunjir, which is Holy Night Presence, which is literally the episode where freaking they finally wrap up that actually, I don't remember what that episode was specifically. Why was I thinking of the Gozuja episode? I don't remember what the Bumbunjir episode was, but it was definitely a Christmas episode. I can tell you that much. But this person, like this episode felt really fucking good. Okay, okay, this guy has some weird. Okay, he wrote the train episode. This is the guy who's writing next week's episode. He wrote Sword and Bullet, which is literally the episode after the second time that Bushido and Gavan meet. The Gavan kidnapping case, which was with where Koto gets like possessed and shit. And then he did Runaway Space Express, which was a train. So the train episode was halfway decent. My only gripe with that episode was the lack of chrome on the train Gavan. Like, my guy just put on a fucking suit. He put on a suit, and that was my only issue with that episode. And Sword and Bullet and Gavan kidnapping were I mean, the 3 episodes he wrote were kind of decent. This is my problem, though, is that, like, there's not consistent writing. If I were to go to the Zets wiki right now and look at every episode, Takahashi's name would be on every episode, I think. Because it's been consistent. It's been consistent throughout the show, throughout it. But, like, the writing for this show has been handed off to so many different people that there's no coherent lore. Who wrote Black Gavan? Atsuro Tomioka. And then he also wrote... Okay, so Tomioka-san is the one who wrote the Black Gavan and the Truth of the Universe. And I can tell you in these episodes, there are notable callbacks to the lore. So the only guy who gives a fuck about the lore is Tomioka-san. Which is weird. So you're telling me, okay, I have lore, here's what we're going to do, and then the other writer said, we'll just leave the lore episodes to you, we're just going to go write absolute schlock. Like, is that the thought process here? Because literally, in the first episode, the second episode, we already see inklings of Death Gavan in the first 3 episodes. And then in 7, we get him himself, and then you see inklings again in 9, 10, and 11 with the whole thing with the interdimensional travel, like because we tease Ninja Gavan. And then at 14, they literally reveal Death Gavan unmorphed, and then they drop the name of the evil at the end of the universe, Azazoth. And then he just fucks off for like 5 more episodes. So I ask you, what the fuck are we genuinely doing here? What the hell are we doing? I'm baffled. I'm outright baffled by this. I don't understand why there isn't like... do you even have a Bible at the center of it? Like a Gavan Bible? That like everyone can reference to in regards to the fucking lore? Or is it literally you're the only one who knows the lore and you refuse to tell anybody else? Is that what I'm getting here? Is that what I'm to understand? Because I'm telling you right now, like, it's weird. It's a weird way of tackling writing. You need a guy who knows the story he wants to tell, and he has to write every episode. Is that taxing? Yes. But does it ensure story consistency? Yes. So the fact that they went as far as to this guy knows the lore and he's trying to tell it, but the other writers refuse to acknowledge it. And it's weird. That's why this show has felt like it's all over the place, because there isn't consistent writing. You can't have a person write an episode and then hand the next episode after that, because at that point they don't even call back to the episode the other guy wrote. It's a fucking mystery. It's insane that that's even happening. But what are you going to do? At the end of the day, this show is almost over in 4 weeks. I'm not rescinding my threat to never do a Gavsudan for Project Red ever again. Because this show so far has not given me a reason to. But I can tell you straight up, it's getting me to retract my threat against it being absolute shit that I did on Twitter. Because, man, I mean, when it gets it right, it gets it right. But when it gets it wrong, it gets it catastrophically wrong. You know? Like, it is what it is. But at least I feel better about watching it again. I feel better about, like, continuing through this. And either way, we only have 4 more weeks of this. So everybody strap in. Let's see, because here's the thing. If y'all want to see an Omega Horn Gavsudan, this show needs to deliver within the next 4 weeks. Do I think they can? My hopes aren't high. It definitely can. But I'm not holding my breath. On that note, keeping it short and sweet today. Oh, actually not. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and start wrapping up here. And my browser froze. Great. Yep, my browser froze. God dang it. Oh, wait, no, there it goes. And now I can't get out of full screen on the fucking video. God dang it. Nope, still frozen. Hold on. Getting it back up. Because we need to start getting out. I do appreciate, if y'all were here just lurking or whatever, I do appreciate you suffering with me, because, this show ain't for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that much for free. This show ain't for the... Actually, you know what? No, why am I even saying that? This show is not for the faint of tolerance? I don't know where I'm going with this. All you know is that you gotta have a high tolerance for bullshit for this show. And I will tell you that one for free with 100%, 1,000%. So on that note, I'm going to send my Twitch peoples over to my boy Mike Burnfire, who's playing Fallout New Vegas. He's playing the namesake. He's doing the thing. So please go ahead and support him in the cool Henshin Core way that you do. But on both platforms, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into these Gavsudans, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the VOD. I appreciate you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you will continue to support the shows. I definitely want to get into doing some more video-based essays, but that's something for later on down the line. But for now, I appreciate y'all coming out to these streams every weekend. And on that note, it's time for us to go. It is time for me to bid you all adieu. So without further ado, I am, of course, your mercenary with the kicks from 2286 and your host with the most, Callsign Henshin, reminding you that the future is yours and yours alone to conquer. So conquer it by any means necessary. I love y'all. I will see you all next week for more Tokusatsu goodness. But until then, I've been Callsign Henshin. I love you. I see you. You are valid. Stay sexy, stay safe, but most importantly, stay awesome. And I will see you all next time. Peace out.